What does this have to do with Sesame Place? You're just trying to be like, no. We're the actual victims. What happened to Don't Be a Victim? He is straight up. He straight up. I will show you this. He straight up is lying about the whole Sesame Place. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the whole thing, but essentially, you know, you saw the kid get snuffed. The kid gets snuffed by that one character. Got snuffed from the hug, even though you can see them later or right before that high-fiving a white kid and then skipping over the black kids and then trying to say, oh, we can't hug people. And then another video comes out 2 seconds later of them going right next to the black kids and hugging a white kid. And then there was videos. I think there was so far 4. There was 3 of this one character, but there was 4 total so far that I found of them snubbing black kids. And they're trying to pull everything out to make sure. No, it couldn't have been this. It must have been they missed them. Oh, look, it's a mostly black area. Or that tribe is probably a black person in the suit. And
let's talk about racism in this here United States. We can talk about it because there's a story that has captured the top of the news. And that is that apparently, supposedly, a mascot at Sesame Place is racist. I continue to fail to see how the tape that we have been shown is racist, but here is the story. Apparently, a video shared by a person named Jody on social media shows her 2 daughters excitedly greeting characters as they parade through the popular theme park in Philadelphia. Now, again, Philadelphia is a largely minority city, so the idea that...
What does that have to do with anything? Why do they always go for that for their shield? I was like, I don't know why what's this heavily minority city have to do with anything? It's just like, oh, look, it's a mostly black area. Okay. But these, like I said, these are the same people that will say white liberals hate white people. They'll jump back to that in 2 seconds because they're playing dumb. Like, he knows this. He understands this concept. All of Con Inc. understands this concept of self-hatred. They just don't want to see it when it's black people. That's when they try to pull up and be like, this doesn't make any sense. How can there be a black person that doesn't like black people? And then the funny thing is we don't even know who the person is in there. So we don't even know what they look like. So why would you assume they're a black person?
That Sesame Place is racist. That would be a bizarre place to put like a racist theme park. It's like right around Philadelphia.
They didn't say it was. No one said it was a racist theme park. People were saying that there was, well, at least 2 characters, but at least this character, this individual seems to have an issue with black kids, and Sesame Place seems to be protecting this dude for some reason, like crazy. So I don't like, why does he think, okay, so in Ben's view, which he's being stupid on purpose, he's playing dumb. He's sitting there thinking, let's build our theme park structured on racism and put it in a black area. Like there's some dude twiddling his mustache. He's like, or twirling his mustache, sitting there like, you know, this will get them Negroes, right? Like, like what? Notice how he took like the most exaggerated caricature of what happened as he possibly could.
Strange place to put a racist theme park. When the 2 girls see the character of Rosita walking by, they step forward for a hug or a high five. And then the mascot appears not to see them and then walks past them. This turned into a national...
It didn't appear like they didn't see them, because if you watch the video, he immediately, or the character immediately high fives a little white kid. And then immediately hugs. In the second video that most conservatives didn't show because it kind of blew up their whole narrative, it shows immediately fucking goes and hugs a little white kid right next to him. So why did he just add that in? He added that in with no evidence that they didn't see him. And also, then who are they pointing no to? If he didn't see the black kids, who are they doing this to? The fucking air? Like, what are this doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, notice he's just twisting this story and trying to make it into the most like absurd thing possible. Even though it's like he's giving all these benefits of the doubt to the person with no evidence. Like, come on, you're a lawyer. At least lie about the situation better than this.
News story, because the 2 little girls are black. And we can't just attribute this action by the person inside the mascot to the fact that it seems rather uncomfortable to be inside the mascot. I don't know what the visibility is like because I've not worn a giant Sesame Street head.
Okay, then why didn't you ask somebody who's done that? Because I've asked somebody, and a lot of people said the eyes are in the neck, so you can see down, so you can see the kids. At least that's what I've been told. You could have just asked somebody, but I don't know where all these questions are coming from now.
But it does not appear that this is a perfect example of brutal systemic American racism. But the mom posted.
Nobody said systemic racism. Okay, so he added in something else that someone didn't say.
On Instagram, quote, "I'm going to keep posting this because this had me hot. We were on our way out of Sesame Place and the kids wanted to stop to see the characters. This disgusting person blatantly told our kids no, then proceeded to hug the little white girl next to us. Then when I went to complain about it, they kept looking at me like I'm crazy." Well, I mean, I asked the lady who the...
What do you mean? That's totally valid. She has a video. She has a video of them doing it. Of course they're going to look at her like they're fucking crazy because they're the ones shielding this person. Because they're probably, most likely, sympathetic. As we've seen a pattern of behavior, at least with this specific character, because like I said, there's at least 3 videos out there of them snubbing black kids.
Character was, and I wanted to see a supervisor. She told me she didn't know. I'll never step foot in Sesame Place ever again. Please feel free to repost this. Please feel free. And it feels like you kind of want the attention. Okay, now this woman's name, it turns out, was Jody Brown.
You just took the Tatum approach. It sounds like you just want attention. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't hear that with anybody else. I don't hear that coming from any whenever the groups are switched. I don't hear that. You just want attention. He thinks it's funny. I will give him his Chris Matthews impression is fucking hilarious. I'll give him that. The only reason I was sad when Chris Matthews got fired is because I was like, oh, Ben can't do Chris Matthews' voice anymore. That was it. Outside of that, no.
And she then decided that she might sue Sesame Place over this incident, for which there is no verified actual racism. Here she was explaining.
There is a mountain of evidence, but okay.
There's several different demands.
Right there. High fives the white kid right over here. So you can clearly see short
that we
kids.
made. Number one, we called for the immediate termination of that.
And then you can't see there's another angle. Another angle came out where it shows the other side. And you can see the character immediately go hug the white kid to their left.
Individual. There's no room. There has to be a no tolerance policy in our country when it comes to racism. We've also asked for an authentic and genuine apology. What we see is the company just responding when they're almost compelled to, when it's damage control. So again, we have to have...
Yeah, basically, that's exactly right.
You know, the company take more of a proactive step, and they need to do right by these children. I mean, these children have suffered immense harm as a result of it. I mean, they will forever be known as the children who were dismissed or rejected by a Sesame Street character.
Now, that's hyperbolic, but I will say the kids probably felt like shit. The kids probably didn't feel good.
They need to be compensated and need to have therapy allotted for them and so forth. So again, we can't just let this go by without any substantial changes.
If the theme park does not do those things, are you contemplating a lawsuit?
Oh, of course. We've said from the very beginning that all options will always remain on the table. I mean, we don't want to have these 2 children engaged in litigation, but if that's what we need to do to effectuate change in this country, that's what we have to do.
Oh, there's so much civil rights in here. That's B. Ivory Lamar, who is the lawyer for the mom. They've suffered immense harm. Have they? It seems like the harm that they suffered was mostly because mom decided to post the video and turn this into a racial issue without any actual evidence that it wasn't just a guy in a giant character suit who didn't see the kids properly.
She did have evidence, and you could do one quick Google search to find it. That's the crazy part, but he knows this.
And was addressing people behind them. That's what it actually looks like. Not that he's saying no to the kids, that the person inside the character suit is saying no to people who are standing behind the kids.
They're pointing right at them. Their arm goes downwards. What are you talking about?
Pretend that This is true racism. The Congressional Black Caucus is now requesting a meeting with the president and general manager of Sesame Place.
Yeah, the Congressional Black Caucus are a bunch of showmen. They don't do anything. They're a fucking joke. They're basically there for white liberals. That's essentially what they serve. They don't fucking do anything. They don't care.
The Congressional Black Caucus, Congress, we must have investigative hearings like January 6th, what happened over here. Since the video made its way across social media, Sesame Place released a statement saying the performer didn't ignore the kids on purpose, and the nose gesture seen in the footage was not to the children specifically. They called the incident unacceptable. Never do that. Never do that. Just say, that's not what happened.
Why would they have to say that, though?
We understand why you would see it that way, but you're wrong.
But they have stuff contradicting that. You know it's going to be bad.
Instead, they quasi-apologize, and that's the worst thing you can do. Now the CBC wants an audience with the Sesame Place Park president and general manager to discuss. And then the CBC says, quote, over the past week, we've seen multiple glaring examples of racism coming from the park, including that viral video. Okay, so where are the other examples?
One Google search will pull up the videos. Like I said, dude's a lawyer. Dude has a research team. You know they know this. You know they're leaving it out on purpose. They don't want to show the evidence that contradicts this. They just want to be like, where is it? I don't see it. Because he knows his audience is not going to look it up. His audience isn't going to do any sort of investigation. They're just going to hear what he says and goes, well, I believe it. That's true. So then watch when you actually talk to somebody like this who goes, where's the evidence? You can just pull up your phone and be like, right here. And then they don't know what to say. Because they're like NPCs who just repeat whatever they hear. It's the same fucking thing on the left and the right. They're just like, who are our media figures? Who are our media gods? Just say what they say. Wouldn't it be better to actually look at those videos and show them to just I don't know where they are. Just play dumb. Why does the right always love to play dumb? Why is that their favorite tactic? Is play dumb. That's all they fucking do, bro. It's just all the time. Play dumb. The left's equally annoying. They just like semantic games. They're just always like giving vague definitions of things so they can always wiggle and move and not answer any questions. And then the right just likes to play dumb. Like, I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't see any evidence. Where is it?
Where are the other examples? She said, I thought it was excuses, the mom. She said, I also thought it was very disrespectful, like they were trying to brush me off. Well, I mean, they were trying to brush you off because you seem like kind of a crazy person, frankly.
She's the crazy person. Okay.
Like, this is the big... Have you never been to a theme park where your kids have tried to get the attention of one of the characters and haven't gotten it? We used to go to Disneyland all the time. The characters are trying to, like, interact with hundreds of people at one time. Sometimes kids get missed. Is that because of race?
They looked right at them and said, no, they didn't get missed. What is this? What video are you watching? They literally look right at them and say no. And where did he get this? They were just missed. Even Sesame Place didn't say that. Where did he get this from? He just pulled this out of nowhere.
Racism, but apparently this is a brutal instance of racism.
No one said brutal instance of racism. I like how he's trying to like hype it up to make it hyperbolic so he can just tear it down. Like, see, we're being like, it's black people being like oversensitive or right, blowing everything out of proportion. It's like no one said this was some brutal instance of racism. We're just like, hey, what the fuck? And then you get attacked for saying what the fuck.
Brutal. And this is why, by the way, it's very important also that we had Benjamin Crump, one of the great racial grifters of our time, sign in. Benjamin Crump is the lawyer who arrives anytime a black person gets shot by a cop who is not a black cop. Benjamin Crump shows up and claims that it's unjustified and unjustifiable, despite the fact that in at least half of the cases that is not true. I would say significantly more than half of the cases that's not true. So Benjamin Crump showed up as well to talk about this. He went to a protest, and here is what Benjamin Crump had to say.
You saw the video. You look in their eyes when Rosette just ignores them as if they are.
I can't fucking stand Ben Crump, dude. He's freaking annoying.
visible. And it's such a difficult thing for Miss Brown and her family to have to explain to her 6-year-old daughter and 6-year-old niece about racism. It's not fair.
I mean, credit to Benjamin Crumb for being able to
What was that noise?
manage the same sort of gravity that he uses when people are actually shot for this. That is kind of impressive. Okay, so we have now learned that if a theme park character mistakenly does not take a picture with a couple of black kids, it's definitely because of race.
He keeps adding mistakenly in there. No one, even Sesame Place, didn't say that. He just made that mistakenly. He just adds that in there. No one ever said that. Man, that's fucking slimy. That's slimy, bro.
But for sure, what's not because of racism is this piece from Damon Young, a contributing columnist for the Washington Post.
And here comes the fragility, right? We got to compare it.
And this is literally in the Washington Post. Here is the title of the piece. You ready? Someone gave our daughter a white doll. How do we disappear it? Not racist. Not racist at all. Quote.
What does this have to do with Sesame Place? What does this have to do with that? What one individual family does, and they got to run to, and they got to run to. Well, look at this other thing. Look at this anti-white race. Like, what does this have to do with Sesame Place? You're just trying to be like, no. We're the actual victims. What happened to don't be a victim? What happened to the don't be a victor, not a victim? Stop trying to pretend like conservatives do not like the Oppression Olympics, because oh my God, they do. They love that so much. Let's see this brutal racism from one individual family in their own home.
Oh, we still don't know how it got into our house. Maybe it was a present from my mother-in-law. She regularly sneaks toys and snacks to our kids like they're prisoners, and Cheetos them phone card minutes. Maybe it was borrowed from a classmate, or maybe it conjured itself into existence through alchemy and spells. Either way, 2 months ago, when my wife and I noticed our 6-year-old daughter was playing with a white baby doll with long blonde hair, our immediate thought was, wait, where did that come from? And then after watching her dote on it for 2 days, our thoughts shifted. So how do we get rid of it? What? My wife and I don't see eye to eye on everything, says this columnist. That would be boring and weird. She loves dancing in public. I love dancing in my chair while eating food by myself. Few things matter to us, however, more than our daughter loving her features, her hair, and her skin as much as we do. She's perceptive enough already to see and feel, even if she can't quite articulate it yet, how white beauty is considered the standard here in America. A status reinforced when she notices monochromatic magazine covers at a bookstore or watches advertisements during her favorite cartoons.
Is that wrong, though? Is any of that wrong, though? Do we not have a certain beauty standard we try to uphold when it comes to light skin? And this even goes on in black areas, because I've been told that. I've been told you were blessed, you got light skin. Right? I've gotten that before. But I'm like, is it wrong that we push a certain standard when it comes to beauty and we kind of look at others like, not so much? So what we have here is dismissing Sesame Place with a ton of evidence to then jump on the white victimhood narrative about one individual family who wants to make sure their daughter doesn't grow up thinking Eurocentric beauty standards are the standard. Oh no. The systemic anti-white racism. Oh no.
First of all, have you not been to a bookstore in like 30 years? Seriously, like look at the magazine covers. Those are very diverse magazine covers. Are you talking about like who's in commercials these days? It's not monochromatic white people. It really is not. But, says this columnist,
until like 5 seconds ago. And even then, once it even started to change, I saw the right just absolutely tears in their eyes crying about it.
We've always been intentional buying her dolls and toys of color. Black is always the preference, but we've made exceptions, like Moana. White dolls, though, we haven't officially banned them. There's no sign on our stoop saying no dogs or Malibu Barbies. But if we're at a store and the only dolls for sale are white, we'll be leaving dollless that night. Our rationale is simple. The physiognomy of a baby doll represents what the person buying it considers to be precious, and a decision to gift a white doll to our daughter, who is already aware of the ceaseless cultural proselytization of Eurocentric beauty, could communicate to her that we value those features more than hers. So then the rest of the article is about how they are going to get rid.
Okay. And how did we go from Sesame Place to this? Bro, this is crazy.
Of this doll that their daughter actually likes. They have to dump the doll. Very, very important. They say, our anxiety about her preferring Daisy over her black dolls seemed for naught. What probably happened is what always happens with my daughter's toys. She got bored with it and started playing with something else. Or maybe one of us took the initiative and followed through with the disappearing. Maybe Daisy is in the Monongahela River, floating past McKeesport, Pennsylvania. I guess I could ask my wife if she did that. I guess she could just ask me. But if neither of us ask, neither of us will know the truth. And if neither of us knows the truth, neither of us would have to perjure ourselves at a tribunal. Okay, I question whether a piece about a white family saying we took a black Barbie and we threw her in the river because we didn't want our daughter playing with black dolls was to believe that black dolls were beautiful. How that would...
They didn't say white people. They didn't say white people were not beautiful. They said they don't want their daughter growing up seeing the Eurocentric standard of beauty as the only standard of beauty so she doesn't hurt her self-image. That's what they said. They didn't say white people are ugly. They never said that. Where did he get that from? What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I like how he's not laughing about this story, even though this story is just as like, who cares, right? It's like one family. It's like, okay, so some family just was trying to make sure their daughter make sure they view themselves, their features, as attractive. Okay, and this is what bothers you so much, right? But then when you get called the hard R by people in power, they want you to shut up and get over it.